Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Rockin' Royal. Rockin' Navy. Know y'all with me.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. Lee, congratulations on your fine start. What characteristics or identities have emerged from your team so far that you think you can build on for the rest of the season?
I mean, so far, it was an interesting question posed to the team today from the mental performance coach about what things are going well, what things are leading or impacting winning. And it was, I don't know if they were saying what they think the staff wanted to hear, but I think some of them are tangible that I've enjoyed seeing. But I think that loose balls, have been a point of emphasis for us, and we've done a pretty good job of that through 6 games. I think sharing the basketball. Everybody talks about the 3-point frequency number, but for me, yes, I love the three ball. But I love the way that we're sharing the basketball. And then until points, a good chunk of the first half against Weber State, I think we've done a pretty good job defensively in defensive transition and in the half court.
Obviously, playing on the road's a different animal than, that was your closest game of the season. Anything that the players did differently or you learned about your team when they were really put in the fire of a close game?
I think that it's just going to pay, I guess, dividends later, because the road is different. It's super hard to win on the road, and you're seeing it across the country. Teams that go into a place that most people normally think, oh yeah, that should be a win. You go, they're well coached, and they get the crowd behind them, and it's challenging. So I think the experience that they got there is going to be huge for us going forward as we're going to play. We're actually out of the Marriott Center for the next 2 weeks. And so it's just gonna help us long term. I don't think the approach was anything different. Challenging style of play for us because they spread it out and shoot so many threes. But grateful to learn and get that experience, especially for some of our new players.
The
Lee,
last question for me, Lee. I know you've been an interim head coach and coached in a game, before, but as far as 6 games in, what have you kind of learned about the profession or what it's like, or has anything kind of surprised you now that you're the full-time coach?
The biggest change is just how my mind's always on it. I can't remember who I shared with, but it was before the Weber State game. It was the day before, and they kind of asked the same question, and I just said, like, I think I woke up 6 times last night with something to do with the program on my mind, where that hadn't happened before. Could have been as it pertains to Weber State or the preparation or, anything within the program on or off the court. And so that part's been new. And for somebody that likes to be mentally stimulated quite a bit, I actually enjoy that. I'm not sure I could do that all year round and have games. It's really elevated since we started playing games. But that is something that a couple of the coaches, that I'm close with had told me about. And that's probably the most challenging thing outside of the given of preparation and games and stuff like that.
To follow up on that, Lee, what stuff what pulls you in a lot of different directions as the head coach? Is there booster responsibilities? Like, how much are you actually hands-on coaching? Is there other stuff that's pulling you and taking away your time?
There is media meetings, just take you away. But no, there's just other things that you didn't have the responsibility before. And we're all in this, at least I am, for the basketball side of things, the X's and O's, the individual development of players, the schematics, the competition, so for sure hands on there. and heavily involved in all of that. But yeah, there's other responsibilities. There's just, your own roster. There's the donor side. There's the academic side and the scheduling side. And, you're evaluating all of it at all times. We played a team that I feel has almost as unfair of a non-conference start to the year. And I don't know who's responsible for that, but I'm glad we're not them. And we've been at home quite a bit. And, so there's just so many things that go into it that and I had my hands on a lot of things prior, but there's so much more that only the head, well, not only, but the head coach needs to be involved with, and so you name it, I'm involved. Try to stay out of compliance stuff and as little to do with academics other than, hey, here's what the expectation is. And some of the onboarding and admissions and some of the more, less, anything that I cannot be a part of and stay focused on the basketball side and the roster and the team and the group. That's my favorite part.
Good stuff. I wanted to also ask you about some of your freshmen. What did you see out of Sydney in the preseason that said she was ready to be an opening night starter as a freshman? And how do you feel like, I mean, 9 assists in her last outing. Just what do you think, what's been her biggest strength so far and the areas where you want to see continued improvement from her?
For Sid, at least coming into it, she was pretty steady. And coaching point of view, at least on my end of things, somebody that I know what they're going to do on the court is so much easier to play than some volatility, and Sid's been pretty steady all summer, fall, and even to this point. The one thing that will come, and she showed it, prior to the games, is she's a much better shooter than she's shooting right now. I don't think she's forcing anything. I don't think she's getting outside of what we want from her. But the playmaking and the passing and the poise and composure, I saw that as we recruited her, saw it all summer and fall. She's just really steady, and I think she hasn't played as good as she's capable of, and she knows that too. That shooting percentage is going to increase, and she just sees the game very well.
And then along the same lines with the freshman theme, Olivia Hamlin, did you expect this immediate success from her? I mean, she was a heralded recruit, but has it gone smoother than maybe expected?
Uh, I don't know if it's gone smoother. It's kind of what we expected from Liv. We know who she is as a player, similar to Sid in the way Sid plays. Liv played like that all summer and fall. Um, I think that, and I don't get so caught up in the starting lineup of things. I really prefer Liv to come off the bench because of the instant offense that she is and what she brings and having her play, starter type minutes. But Ari was hurt prior to Delaney getting hurt. And so uh, didn't feel like Ari was ready to jump back in the starting lineup, having been injured a little bit. So Liv's there. And she's fared really well. But same with Sid, like they've just played like they've played all summer and fall. And that's what we're asking of them. Delaney's out, sure. Cambry's out, sure. We've had some other injuries, but nothing other than how you've played, to this point. That's all that needs to happen. You just stay in that realm of your game, and I think they've done a pretty good job of it. I think both of them, with Delaney being out, have had the ball in their hands a little bit more. But they're going to play the game the same way. Just have that same opportunity a little bit more.
Coach, could I go back to Sid a little bit and maybe follow up on something you were saying about her? Because it does feel like her growth and her progression has been pretty real, and kind of linear in some ways for the first 6 games of the season, as she's had to deal with these challenges with Delaney and now Liv and kind of some of the other issues around the lineup. Like, was there something that you identified in her makeup, maybe when you were recruiting her, that made her the type of player that could kind of handle sort of that sort of build upon mentality, I guess, that some of the great basketball players have?
For Sid specifically, I mean, she's a hooper is what I like, she likes the game of basketball, and she's a student of the game and is eager to learn. And I think she approaches it that way and evaluates day in, day out, whether it's practice or a game or whatever. Hey, what happened here? And some of that is dictated a little bit by us with film or whatnot. But she likes that part of the game, right? Hey, they were doing this defensively and this worked great. I'm going to register that up here so that the next time I see that, without, I just going to pick that up. She's the oldest in her family, so there's a composure about her, maturity of, that's different for a freshman. But she's taking in all the information and figuring out, hey, when I do this or I input this, I get this result, and in real time computing all of that and improving from that.
She also grew up kind of playing a lot of really high level basketball, I think, both in New Mexico and then also with like the NABI and kind of some of those travel circuits. Has helped her sort of jump into D1 and sort of figure things out like that as well.
I mean, for her, I don't think this is kind of common sense. Like, she's as big in the native world basketball wise, pretty much as anybody. And I think that gets discounted a little bit about the pressure that's on her as it pertains to that. There's an NBA player right now who's also native, but they're kind of the men's face, and she's kind of the women's face of natives that play basketball. She's been the MVP of that tournament the last 2 years, and she's a big deal. And the metrics for interactions or social media touch points and data, anything that Sid's involved with, you see a greater number of social interactions because of that. Yeah, she played at a high level in Albuquerque. Okay, was a state champion there. She played on the circuit and was it's a high level. I mean, pretty much anybody we recruit plays on one of the shoe circuits, which is all the best players. So she's been around it, but I don't think she gets enough credit for kind of that, just who she is in the landscape of the native community. I mean, we've had several games where it's like, here's this whole sea of people that are here to see Sydney play the game, and it was in Montana, and I'm sure we'll see that throughout. So,
Lee, what's the outlook on? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Coach, what's the outlook for Delaney this week in terms of her availability?
I think that, excuse me, I think the boot's supposed to come off, and then kind of a progression back to basketball things. It sounds like the rehab or the response to some of the things they're doing rehab wise is going great. I would love for her to play this week. Not sure that's going to happen, just kind of where they're at and the progression of it. But yeah, I was quite pleased to hear that the boot's coming off today.
Is it challenging in these spots where, I mean, you're in a power league where you're going to have a lot of, resume boosting opportunities in conference play, but is it tricky to not want to get her back on the court because of, this is a big week to get some real resume boosting opportunities? Is it a tricky balance that way?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, come on. do you want, I mean, as a fan, you want Delaney out there, right? But as a coach, for sure. I mean, she's a great player. And there's several, that haven't played or been on the bench, that we feel can contribute greatly. And we'll just do with who we have and compete and give it everything we have. And it's going to be great for some of these younger people or some of the people that weren't playing as much, in the first couple games to get these reps. Like, you can't discount game reps. You can simulate it all you want, but it's just different when there's a crowd. And so yeah, we're facing our toughest challenge to this point this week, regardless of who we play in that second game. But short answer is, of course, we want Delaney to play. Long answer is, hey, we got a conference season we're preparing for, and that's how we approach the non-conference season.
Let's get it.
Marya, just what would you describe that this is working so well for this team so far this season?
Yeah, I just think we're doing a great job at playing together and playing for each other. I've seen a lot of growth in the returners from last year, and then just having our freshmen come in and step up in roles that we need them to, especially with Delaney out. But yeah, I think we've just done a great job at playing for each other and playing to win.
How confident are both of you? And this question is for both, but just the opportunity. It seems like it'll be increased level of competition this week. Just the readiness of this team for this challenge in this MTE.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. I think it's a great challenge for us to, go somewhere and have to play some tougher teams, really kind of get us ready for the Big 12, because that is coming up sooner than we think. And just kind of having the opportunity to put BYU on the map that we can hang and compete with all these top teams. So I think it'll be a really good challenge for us.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we also need to play against teams at that level just to see where we at right now and just to see how we will play together and what works and what doesn't.
I got to be the one to ask you this question, though. But were you excited last week that you finally got a Taylor edit from your career high 23?
Of course. I love basketball and Taylor Swift. So just the fact that it was tied together was great.
Just what went into that game at Montana? Because you guys obviously got the unfortunate news with Delaney a little bit beforehand, and they came in and punched you in the mouth. Just what got into you where you really sort of found your scoring boots, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think just going to that game, we all knew that not even someone, everyone was going to have to step up in some sort of category aspect. So just, I mean, things were working out for me. The ball was going in. So, I mean, I was told to just keep being aggressive. So that's what I was going to do. But I feel like I'm the type, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help us win, whether that's scoring 23 or I'm guarding our best player or I'm rebounding. I'm just trying to find kind of what the team needs from me each game. So I mean, that game it was scoring, but I mean, you never know what it could be, but I just know that all of us needed to step up. So yeah.
It does kind of seem like, and this could be either one of you, I guess, but it does kind of seem like this team overall has sort of that moldability or kind of plasticity to it, where a lot of the players can do a little bit of everything, especially as you sort of navigate this first part of the season. Like, are you seeing that with not only some of the veterans, but some of the new players? Sydney comes to mind with what she's been able to do, kind of adding to her game. Have you sort of seen that with some of the other players as well?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I feel like what makes a great team is the fact that kind of all the girls can have their own night, which I mean, it's kind of hard when you're only relying on one player. And I mean, of course, like the ball is going to be in Delaney's hands. Like we need her to be a great team, but it's also really comforting to know that like we can have girls who will pop off another night in different categories too. So I think just kind of having a lot of flexibility and just a versatile team helps a lot to be kind of successful.
I agree with that. We showed it in the last couple of games. There were always multiple people having double digits, especially last game we had 4 having double digits, and that's what we needed. So yeah.
Lara, can I just ask you about one of your teammates? What's it like playing with Sid, and maybe what is she like? Kind of the part of Sydney Benali that we don't really get to see, in the locker room and that sort of thing. What's she like as a teammate?
She's awesome. She's quiet, but she like pops up on the court, pops out of on the court. So yeah, like she just has this like I don't know, she has the eye to like see everyone and anyone on the court and just like pass those passes. And I feel like me and her have this like I don't know, like special bond on the court sometimes. And she just like sees me and passes it right to me and I like set her the perfect screen or whatever. And I think it just like the chemistry is there as a team. So yeah.
Is Coach Lee setting aside any time for the team to do anything fun besides teams at the Virgin Islands?
That is a great question. I'm not gonna be honest. I don't even know.
I heard you going on a boat.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we'll definitely have time to kind of hang out and relax, but at the end of the day, we're going there on a business trip, so trying to take care of business while also enjoying being away from the cold and the mountains.
You both brought up earlier, the opportunity to get ready for Big 12 play. I think Marya said, I mean, it's around the corner. Just maybe the opportunity that this does pose to kind of familiarize with just the enhanced physicality that comes with playing some power conference opponents.
Yeah. I think it'll be a great challenge for us. I'm super excited. I mean, and no matter how the games turn out, I think it's going to be a great test for us, and just to be able to have the ability to come back and learn, win or lose. We're going to come back and learn and prepare so that we are on our best A game for the Big 12, because that's when it really, really matters.
Thank you.
Praying meetings every day, so we never stress. Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy. Know you with me. Let's get it, baby. Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy. Know you with me.